Dear students, good morning. Today we are going to discuss next topic based on modals. Modals is a very important topic to be asked in all the board exams and all the competitive exams. Modals are also known as modal verbs or secondary auxiliaries. Modals, I have written some words here on the left side of this whiteboard. This is the present form and this is the past form of modals. Let us have a recap. Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to, used to, need and dare. These 13 words are known as modal verbs in English grammar. They are known as modals. They are used to form moods or concept, to tell or to express the conceptions of mind. इन सभी 13 शब्दों का इस्तेमाल हम इंग्लिश ग्रामर में या तो मूड फॉर्म करने के लिए कहते हैं या फिर कंसेप्शन ऑफ माइंड को एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए करते हैं. एक बार जब आप इन 13 वर्ड्स को याद कर लेंगे तो एक कंसेप्ट आपके दिमाग में होगा कि कैन, कुड, मे, माइट, शैल, शुड, विल, वुड, ought to, must, used to, need, dare. These words are modals. Unlike primary auxiliaries, they can't be used as ordinary verbs except a few, except need and dare. They can't be used as main verbs in sentences. They are used as helping verbs. There are certain features of modals. In the introductory period, let us revise what are the features of modals. How do they behave in sentences? सेंटेंसेस में इन मॉडल्स का क्या रोल है, किस प्रकार से ये बिहेव करते हैं, एक बार उसके बारे में हम अच्छे से जान लें. What are the features? What do they tell? They tell the conception of mind related with duty, ability, possibility, permission, obligation, etc. ये इन्हीं को प्रकट करते हैं. ड्यूटी, obligation, permission, possibility, ability of someone, इनको ये एक्सप्रेस करते हैं सेंटेंस में. तो what are the features of modals? First is modals do not change their forms with numbers or persons of the subject. अगर कोई सेंटेंस लिया हमने, उसका सब्जेक्ट सिंगुलर है, प्लूरल है, इट डजंट मैटर. उसका सब्जेक्ट फर्स्ट पर्सन है, सेकंड पर्सन है या फिर थर्ड पर्सन प्रोनाउन है, इट ऑल्सो डजंट मैटर इन केस ऑफ मॉडल्स, बिकॉज मॉडल्स डू नॉट चेंज देयर फॉर्म विद द चेंज इन नंबर एंड पर्सन ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट इन ए सेंटेंस. यदि सेंटेंस में सब्जेक्ट का नंबर या फिर उसका पर्सन चेंज हो जाता है, उससे मॉडल कभी चेंज नहीं होता. यह बात पहली फीचर है मॉडल्स की. सेकंड, only 4 modals have their past forms. ये जो 13 modals मैंने आपको यहां बताए, इनमें से केवल ये 4 can, may, will, shall, they have their past forms. Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should. बाकी जो हमारे पास 5 modals बचे, कौन कौन से? must, ought to, used to, need and dare. They have no past forms. हमें दो बातें पता चली. Modals do not change with the change in number and person of the subject. Second, only these 4 modals have their past forms. Other 5 modals have no past forms. Modals are used as helping verb before the main verb. As we have discussed, in case of primary auxiliaries be, do and have, they can act in both ways, as ordinary verbs means main verbs or as helping verbs in the sentences. But modal auxiliaries do not have the use as main verb in the sentence except need and dare. These 11 modals are used as only helping verbs. Now, means every modal verb is used before the first form of verb. Modal verb plus V1. This is the structure of use of modals in a sentence. Fourth is ought and used. These two modals are followed by to, or to is preceded with used and ought as modals. Ought plus to infinitive means to V1, and used to is a different modal verb which is used in past tenses only to show the habit, to express the habit of someone, habit of past. And need and dare, these two modals, these two words are used as ordinary verbs as well as modal verbs in sentences. That's why need and dare, these two modals are known as semi-modal verbs और semi-modals. हमने अभी तक डिस्कस किया मॉडल वर्ब्स क्या होती हैं, कौन कौन से मॉडल वर्ब्स की पास्ट फॉर्म होती हैं, किसकी पास्ट फॉर्म नहीं होती हैं, कौन कौन से मॉडल्स मेन वर्ब के रूप में यूज किए जा सकते हैं. केवल दो हैं, नीड एंड डेयर. एक्सेप्ट नीड एंड डेयर, ऑल द मॉडल्स आर यूज्ड एज हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स in a sentence before the main verb. This is about the introduction of modals. Now we shall discuss the modals and their use one by one in comparison to other modals, because use of modals is situational. It is not hard and fast. It depends upon the situation. वो क्या सिचुएशन होगी, किस प्रकार से हम मॉडल्स का यूज करेंगे डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस में, वो हम सीखने जा रहे हैं. हर एग्जामिनेशन में मॉडल्स से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस जरूर पूछे जाते हैं. टुडे आई एम टेकिंग टू मॉडल्स, कैन एंड इट्स पास्ट फॉर्म कुड. वेयर डू वी यूज कैन एंड वेयर डू वी यूज कुड इन केस ऑफ और एज मॉडल वर्ब्स इन द गिवन एक्सरसाइज. Can is used for request, but not polite request, just a request. Request to your friends, request to your colleagues. For example, दो स्टूडेंट्स पास पास बैठे हैं, एक बच्चे के पेन में इंक खत्म हो जाती है, तो क्या वो अपने फ्रेंड से बहुत पोलाइट रिक्वेस्ट उसे करनी पड़ेगी? आई थिंक नो. कई बार तो हम इनफॉर्मल तरीके से अगर उसके पास दो पेन हैं तो एक पेन वैसे ही उठा लेते हैं, या आप इनफॉर्मली जस्ट आप उससे पूछ सकते हैं, कैन आई टेक योर पेन? डेफिनेटली ही विल से यस यू कैन. कैन आई टेक योर बुक? अगर आपको अपने फ्रेंड से, अपने कलीग से, अपने हम उम्र से कुछ लेना है, कोई परमिशन लेनी है या उससे कोई रिक्वेस्ट करनी है, देन ऑलवेज से कैन. बट if you want to make the request in a very polite way, if you want to have a valuable thing or a very precious thing from someone, for example, आपको किसी का डायमंड नेकलेस लेना है फॉर ए पार्टी, देन हाउ विल यू रिक्वेस्ट? आप क्या यूज करेंगे? आई विल यूज कैन इंस्टेड ऑफ, आई विल यूज कुड इंस्टेड ऑफ कैन. Could you lend me your necklace please? अगर हमें कार लेनी है किसी की, तो कोई कार तो इतनी आसानी से नहीं देगा अपनी, तो इसलिए I have to make a polite request and I will say, could you lend me your car please? अगर आपको बहुत पोलाइट रिक्वेस्ट करनी है, बहुत ही वैल्यूएबल चीज किसी की लेनी है, तो यू हैव टू मेक मोर पोलाइट रिक्वेस्ट टू गेट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. क्लास 10th में इंग्लिश में एक चैप्टर है द नेकलेस. उसमें मैम फॉरेस्टियर से उसकी जो फ्रेंड है वो उसका नेकलेस मांगती है एक पार्टी के लिए, और वो क्या कहती है, आप उस लिटरेचर को जाकर कंसल्ट कीजिए, उसमें लिखा है कुड यू लेंड मी योर नेकलेस प्लीज। इस प्रकार से हम उसका यूज कर सकते हैं। जब भी आप लिटरेचर पढ़ें, कोई लेसन पढ़ें, कोई प्रोज पढ़ें, कोई टेक्स्ट पढ़ें, तो आप उसमें सिचुएशन देखिए कि किस सिचुएशन पर कौन सा मॉडल यूज किया हुआ है, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल हैव ए गुड कमांड ओवर द यूज ऑफ मॉडल्स। नेक्स्ट इज एबिलिटी। कैन इज यूज्ड टू express the ability of someone. What can I do? What I am able for? It expresses ability. For example, I can run very fast. This is my ability, that I can run very fast. I can speak English fluently. This is my ability. And ability of present, at present. I can teach English. This is my ability. To express the ability of someone, we use modal verb can. But to express the ability of past, we use could instead of can. For example, I could run very fast when I was young. यहां पर आपको क्लू मिलेगा कोई ना कोई, जैसे इस सेंटेंस में ये क्लू दिया हुआ है when I was young. When I was young, it means it was the possibility of, it was the ability of past, not present. I could run fast when I was young. An old man says, it means कौन कह रहा है ये बात? कोई बूढ़ा व्यक्ति कह रहा है I could run fast when I was young. मैं बहुत तेज दौड़ सकता था जब मैं जवान था. My grandfather. अब यहां इस सब्जेक्ट से ही क्लू मिलता है. My grandfather. I am 40 years old. And I say my grandfather, it means he is about 80 or 90 years old. He is an old person, old man. It means here the ability mentioned is the ability of past. My grandfather lift 100 kg weight. When can a 90 years old person lift 100 kg weight? I think no, not possible. It means it was the ability of past of my grandfather. My grandfather could lift 100 kg weight. In this way, when we have to express the ability of past of someone, then we use could in place of can. Very simple difference. Can is used for a present ability and could is used for past ability. Next is indirect speech. If can is used as a modal verb, we use could to change it into indirect speech. For example, he said, I can solve this sum. This reported speech is closed in inverted commas. To change it into indirect speech, he said that he could solve that sum. Can is changed into could. If the sentence is given in indirect speech, in an exercise, then I shall use could in place of can. In this way, we can use different modals of can and could in different situations. One more thing is there, incompleted past possibility. If there is a past possibility and which is incompleted, ऐसी possibility जो past की है और इनकम्प्लीटेड रही, उसमें भी हम could का यूज करेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, he could have sent me money. उसे मेरे पास पैसे पहुंचा देने चाहिए थे, लेकिन but he didn't send. He could have sent me money, but he didn't send. We will use could here in incompleted past possibility. And the next is unreal condition. Completely impossible condition of past. एक ऐसी कंडीशन जो अनरियल हो, इसको हम थर्ड कंडीशनल सेंटेंस भी कहते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई हैड विंग्स, यदि मेरे पंख होते, आई कुड फ्लाई, तो मैं उड़ सकता था. एक ऐसी कंडीशन लगा दी जो संभव नहीं है, अनरियल है, रियल हो नहीं सकती। ए मैन कांट हैव विंग्स। इफ आई हैड विंग्स, यहां पर ये पास्ट टेंस को दर्शाता है, तो आई शैल यूज कुड, आई कुड फ्लाई। इफ आई हैड विंग्स, आई कुड फ्लाई। इफ आई हैड मनी मीन्स आई हैव नो मनी। इफ आई हैड मनी, आई कुड बाय ए कार, तो मैं भी एक कार खरीद लेता, बट आई हैव नो मनी। इन दिस वे वी यूज कैन एंड कुड इन टू डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, फाइंड आउट द नेचर ऑफ सिचुएशन। किस प्रकार की सिचुएशन है, हम क्या यूज करेंगे। कैन इज यूज्ड फॉर एन इनफॉर्मल रिक्वेस्ट टू योर फ्रेंड, colleagues, or the people of your own age. You can say, can I take your bike? Can I have your bike for some time? Yes, you can. But if you have to take the most valuable thing of someone, then you must use could instead of can for more polite request. In case of ability, present ability, use can. In case of past ability, use could. First, identify that it is the ability of present or past. And can is also used for theoretical possibility. What is a theoretical possibility? Means a possibility. For example, accidents can happen anytime. Can happen. It is a theoretical possibility. किसी भी समय हो सकते हैं. We use can to express theoretical possibility. Animals can be dangerous. हो सकते हैं. कोई डॉग है हमारे पास, पेट एनिमल है, कैमल है, समटाइम्स दे कैन बी डेंजरस. वो कोई डॉग अपने ही मालिक को भी काट लेता है कई बार. कोई कैमल, कोई एनिमल अपने ही ओनर को नुकसान पहुंचा देता है. इन दिस वे वी कैन से एनिमल्स कैन बी डेंजरस. ये वाला सेंटेंस कई बार 10th और 12th के बोर्ड एग्जाम में पूछा गया है कि फिल इन द मॉडल वर्ब. इन केस ऑफ थियोरेटिकल पॉसिबिलिटी वी यूज कैन. Animals can be dangerous, accidents can happen anytime in this way. And in direct speech, if can is used as a modal verb, use could in case of indirect speech. In this way, we have discussed the uses of can and could as modal verbs. And the new topic is auxiliaries. What are auxiliaries? Auxiliaries are actually helping verbs. Helping verbs means they help. What do they help? They help the main verbs in a sentence. That's why they are known as helping verbs. They are also known as the special verbs because these verbs are placed before a main verb in a sentence to form a tense, to form a voice, or to form a mood of the speaker. In this way, auxiliaries are used in different sentences to form different tenses, voices, and moods. Auxiliaries are basically of two types. First is primary auxiliary and the second is secondary auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries be, do, have. These three verbs are known as primary auxiliaries because they are used primarily. And the next is secondary auxiliaries. Secondary auxiliary means modals, modal verbs or modal auxiliaries. It is known by three names: modal auxiliaries, modal verbs और modals. इन तीनों नामों से हम सेकेंडरी ऑक्सिलरीज को जानते हैं. आप सभी के सिलेबस में क्लास 9 to 12 सभी क्लासेस में मॉडल्स का टॉपिक यूजुअली पूछा जाता है, आपके सिलेबस में है. तो आइए आज हम इस मॉडल्स के टॉपिक को शुरू करने से पहले एक इंट्रोडक्शन देते हैं और प्राइमरी ऑक्सिलरीज के बारे में कुछ जानते हैं. What are primary auxiliaries? फिर हम चलेंगे सेकेंडरी ऑक्सिलरीज दैट इज मॉडल्स पर। तो आइए हम जानते हैं प्राइमरी ऑक्सिलरीज के बारे में। प्राइमरी ऑक्सिलरीज बेसिकली दीज थ्री ऑक्सिलरीज, फॉर एग्जांपल बी, नंबर वन डू and have. Be, do, have are known as primary auxiliaries. They are used in two different forms. In some sentences, they are used as main verbs. And in some sentences, they are used as helping verbs. In case when they are used as helping verbs, they are placed before a main verb to help the main verb in the sentence. But in some sentences, they act as main verbs. Now, let us discuss the different types and forms of primary auxiliaries be, do, have. These three primary auxiliaries have 11 forms. 10, 1, 11 forms. Be has 5 forms. For example, is, am, are, was, were. Be has 5 basic forms which are used according to the change and number and person of the subject in a sentence. किसी सेंटेंस में सब्जेक्ट के नंबर और पर्सन के चेंज होने से इनकी डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स चेंज हो जाती हैं। उन्हीं को हम बी की फॉर्म्स कहते हैं। आइए अब हम बात करते हैं डू की। डू ऑल्सो हैज 3 फॉर्म्स एंड यू हैव ऑलरेडी हर्ड अबाउट दोज 3 फॉर्म्स, डू, डज एंड डिड। एंड द नेक्स्ट इज हैव। प्राइमरी ऑक्सिलरी हैव ऑल्सो हैज 3 फॉर्म्स, हैज, हैव एंड हैड. Now we shall learn the different uses of the forms of be, do, have. 5, do 3, have 3. In this way, primary auxiliaries have 11 forms. Apart from these 11 forms, be has 2 other special forms also, that is being and been. Being is used as a present participle in sentences and been is used as the past participle. In this way, 11 plus 2, these have 13 different forms. Now, let us discuss these 3 forms in detail. For example, be has 3 forms, is, am, are. These are used to show the present tense. Was, were, these 2 forms are used the past tense. They can be used either main verb in a sentence or as the helping verb to the main verb. इसको आप एक एग्जाम्पल से समझ सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप के हेड ऑफ द फैमिली आपके फादर हैं। आपके फादर से कोई घर पे मिलने आता है तो आप क्या कहते हैं? आप वो पूछते हैं आने वाले गेस्ट, इज योर फादर एट होम? आप कहते हैं नहीं, ही इज नॉट एट होम। आप दूसरा ये कह सकते हैं कि यस, ही इज एट होम। तो यदि आपके फादर घर हैं तो ही इज द हेड ऑफ द फैमिली, मेन, ही इज द मेन ऑफ योर फैमिली, मेन पर्सन। हु विल वेलकम द गेस्ट? ही और यू? ही विल वेलकम, बिकॉज बीइंग द हेड ऑफ द फैमिली, मेन person of the family, he will welcome the guest. He will sit with him and talk to him. And the next day, your father is not at home and a guest comes in and he asks, is your father at home? Then who will welcome him? A child, you. You will welcome him. My father is not at home. Please come in, have a seat. What would you like to take? Would you like to have a cup of tea? You will ask him, you are the host. Means in the absence of main verb, in the absence of main person, in the absence of your father, you becomes the main person. You becomes the main person. in the absence of your father. In the same way, when the main verb is absent in a sentence, this primary auxiliary becomes the main verb, plays the role of main verb in that particular sentence. आइए हम देखते हैं कैसे. B has three forms in present: is, am and are. Is used for singular subjects. Am is used for I and are is used for singular you and all the plural pronouns, all the plural nouns. In the same way, was is used for singular nouns and were is used with plural, all the plurals and singular you. They change their form according to the number and person of the subject in a sentence. Now let us take example of do. Do has three forms: do, does and did. As you know, do and does are used in simple present tense to make the sentences into negative or interrogative. Now, did is used in simple past tense to make the sentences negative or interrogative. Does is used with singular subjects, while do is used with all the plural subjects and I and you singular subjects. Did is used with all the singular and plural subjects. In case of have has three basic forms: has, have and had. Has is used with singular subject except I and you, and have is used with plural subjects and singular I and you persons. Had is used with all singular and plurals. In this way, be, do and have are used in different forms in the sentences. Let us take some examples and learn the concept of be, do, have primary auxiliaries. Examples is: she is a doctor. Here, what is the verb? Is, because there is no other verb in this sentence. It means this primary auxiliary, which is the form of be, is acting as the main verb in this sentence. She is a doctor. इसमें कोई दूसरी मेन वर्ब नहीं है, इसलिए यह खुद ही यहां पर मेन वर्ब का रोल प्ले कर रही है. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. Here, the verb am is acting as the main verb of the sentence. They are plurals. For plural, they are players. Here, this word are is acting as main verb in this sentence. But apart from this use, they are used as helping verbs in different sentences. For example, I am writing a story. Here, this is the main verb, writing. And this am is helping this main verb. That's why this helping verb, this form of be or this primary auxiliary is placed before this main verb. To make the sentence into present continuous tense. I am writing a story. Next sentence, we are playing football. Here, this word playing is acting as a main verb and this is acting as a helping verb. This is a primary auxiliary acting as a helping verb. Now, let us take examples of forms of do, does and did. I or they do not know him. Negative sentence of simple present tense. These does and do are used to make the sentences of simple present tense into negative and interrogative. She did not play chess. Did. Simple past tense, negative. We use all the forms of do, does and did to make the sentences negative or interrogative negative too. In this way they are used. This is also used to emphasize the statement. For example, please do come again. अगर कोई एक हमारा कोई रिलेटिव हमारे घर आता है and we like him very much, तो when he departs, तो we usually say please do come again. मीन्स उसके आने की बात को एम्फेसाइज करने के लिए, जोर देने के लिए हम कह रहे हैं. नाउ लेट अस टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ नेक्स्ट प्राइमरी ऑक्सिलरी हैव. वेयर एंड हाउ डू वी यूज हैव? हैव इज यूज्ड इन टू डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स, as main verb and as helping verb in sentences. When has, have or had are used as main verbs, they show possession. For example, I have a car, I have a house, mean I possess a car, I possess a house. But when this is used as a helping verb in a sentence, it helps the main verb in the sentence. I have written a letter. Here, this helping verb have is used as a helping verb. It helps the main verb written to make it present perfect tense. I have written a letter. She has gone to market. In the same way, if we use this at a main verb, have you a pen? I ask to make a question. Have you a pen? But in America or in US, we use do you have a pen? We use do before have, but in British use, we use it as the main verb as used in this sentence. Have you a pen? Or in formal English, we can use do you have a pen? In this way, this is used as main verb to show possession of something. Here we have discussed the forms of three primary auxiliaries: be, do, have. Be has 5 forms: is, am, are, was, were, and apart from these 5 forms, they has 2 participles: being as present participle, been as past participle. In case of do, it has 3 forms: do, does, and did, to make sentences into negative or interrogative or to emphasize the statements. And have, it has 3 forms: has and have, to make present tense, present perfect tense, and had, to make the tense into past perfect tense. In this way, we use has, have, and had as primary auxiliaries in 2 forms, as main verbs as well as helping verbs, as you have seen in these examples. In the next video, we are going to discuss modals, which are known as modal verbs, auxiliary verbs, or secondary auxiliaries. Till then, thank you.